Hi all. So in this video, let us see about the basic concept of the viscometry. So we all saw what is different properties of fluids and the texture of foods. So the main concept of this video is the to study the concept of viscosity. That is one of the rheological property. So viscosity is nothing but a fluid flow property. We all know. So internal property of any fluid that offers a resistance to flow. So inherent like it is inbuilt present within the food material. So it is like we can measure how easily any type of fluid will flow. We determine in terms of viscosity only. It can also be viewed as a resistance to shear force. More viscous the fluid, higher will be the resistance. So the formula and the units to find out the viscosity is nothing but shear stress by shear rate. We can find out the viscosity of any fluid. So the unit of viscosity is pause or centiperes. Viscometer. So coming to this viscosity, obviously there are like many various types of measuring equipments that are present to determine the viscosity also. Viscometer is nothing but an instrument that is used to measure the viscosity of any fluid. So it is like it measures under one flow condition only. The measure of the resistance is taken by the measuring the drag resistance during relative motion through the fluid. So importance of this viscometer is measuring the viscosity is important when considering the process condition for materials that need to be pumped or piped. So mainly during the food preparations like any syrups or lotions, or in the like it will plays a main role in the dipping or any coating performance and all. This viscosity plays the major role. It can be used to monitor the batch consistency and also obviously quality control, and also used to categorize the plastics. So types of instrument present in viscometer is the capillary viscometer, falling and rising body apparatus, and rotational viscometer. So capillary viscometer, as we can see in the picture, this is mainly suitable for the Newtonian systems. So main principle behind this is it works on the principles of Poiseuille's law. So the method of measurement, it will measure the time taken for any defined quantity of fluid to flow through a capillary tube with known diameter and length, and is then compared with the time that is required to flow by a liquid of known viscosity. That is it will be like we can determine with the help of the diameter and length and how long time it is taking to flow through that capillary tube. That is usually by with the water we can determine. There are different types in capillary viscometer: Oswald viscometer and suspended level viscometer. So Oswald viscometer is also known as a U-tube viscometer. This will measure the viscosity of liquid with a known density only. So this is otherwise named as the Wilhelm Oswald. Suspended level viscometer is nothing but it is one of the modified type of Oswald only, suspended one. In that there will be a third two vertical column, we call it as a Oswald. In this there will be a third vertical arm attached to the bulb below the capillary part. Mainly the liquid is introduced into that type of viscometer through the left arm in quantity sufficient to fill the bulb in the left arm. So main advantages and disadvantages when we look for what happens is that it will measure precisely and small and portable, inexpensive, easy to use these types of viscometers, and can be widely variety of capillary tubes on the same viscometer itself. No single tube is suitable for all viscosities. Basic models only can be used for translucent, difficult to clean the capillary tubes. Next is the falling and rising body apparatus. In that, falling spear viscometer and rising. So falling spear is nothing but it is like we use biodiesel, glycerin or vegetable oil. Mainly it is suitable for Newtonian types of fluids only. Here Stokes law has been applied, in which the it states Stokes law is nothing but when a body falls in any viscous media, it will experience a resistance which opposes the motion to the fluid. So this is the basics of falling spear viscometer, in which the fluid is stationary. Working of this is, we can see a sample and a ball are placed in the inner glass tube and allowed to reach the temperature equilibrium with the water in the surrounding constant temperature jacket. So the tube and the jacket both will be in an inverted position, which will be placed on the table at the top of the inner glass tube. So the time for the ball to fall between the two marks is actually measured, and that time interval will be repeated and noted for every several time. Rising sphere viscometer. Rising sphere viscometer is also named as the rheometer. So it is one of the important instrument to study the yield value of any non-Newtonian system. So for Newtonian we use that type. For non-Newtonian we go for rising sphere viscometer. So in this 1.9 centimeter stainless steel sphere were connected to a strain gauge of the platinum rhodium wire is lifted through the material. So what happens here is the shearing stress that is caused by the strain in the gel will be recorded at the continuous interval. So now disadvantages and the advantages of both falling and rising body is that these devices will experience a high shear force. This is incredibly like dealing with the when we deal with non-Newtonian fluids only, it becomes more like a tough job for finding out the viscosity, and can be maintenance intensive and can be parts intensive, and replacement parts will be costly is one of the disadvantage. Next, last one is the rotational viscometer, where this is the widely used among for both Newtonian and non-Newtonian types of fluids. And the principle behind this type of viscometer is nothing but the fluid whose viscosity is being measured sheared between the two surfaces. So in this type, one of the surface will be stationary and other one will be the external drive, and the fluid fills the space. So the measurement are conducted by applying either a constant torque and measuring the changes in the speed of rotation, or applying a constant speed and measuring the changes in the torque. So in this type, these are the other types under rotational types of viscometer. So advantages and disadvantages: can measure viscosity of opaque and settling or non-Newtonian, used for like categorizing shear, thinning and time dependent. Speed of this rotating part can be easily adjusted, and often it can be relatively expensive and often large and non-portable one. So these are the other types of viscometers